As you watch this video, you will see me in different coloured hoodies, and you'll see me on this format, you'll see me on your phone's format, and that's because I'm doing it as I go along. So we've had a wonderful morning. I'm talking about the group of us. We just had a wonderful time. In fact, I've got a bit of business to do, so I'm going to leave my office for a few seconds and I'll talk to you in between. I'm fine. Do you know, you think how hard we have it sometimes, and we think how bad it is. But I've just looked at a list of the things Paul went through. Wild animals, persecution, stonings, floggings, drownings, people trying to kill him, groups, mobs being set on him, being arrested, being sent out alone, and all that. And that's just a third, maybe even just a quarter of what he had to go through. And yet sometimes we have a few things going on and we worry. I know some of you out there are going through a lot at the moment. Just pray. Just know the Lord's with you. And just stay safe and be blessed. And it's easier said than done, I know. We all go through hard times. But if you look to God, if you pray, if you turn to him and you give over to him, things happen. I call it lightning. If you're in the Lord, things happen. Not because you're in the Lord, but because your focus is in the Lord, you can deal with things differently. Without the panic and the stress and the worry. Try it this week and see what happens. And it was a good one today. I enjoyed it, and I think people there got a lot from it. And this is the first of 2 services that I do in the week. I also do what's called a workers' church on a Monday, and that is for people that are working the weekends, so that they can get God's love and grace as well by coming together. Now, some of it's online and some of it's live, and the hope is as we move forward in the future, we'll be able to meet up in our various locations. But it's teaching people about the love of God and the grace of God, because they don't hear that enough. And it's not false teaching, it's teaching based on the Greek and the original scriptures. It's based on the culture and the concepts that were there at the time of Jesus, and through many of the historical documents and through the sources we can see that we're there, and the Bible itself gives us so much information. But the Bible does more than give us information. It gives us revelation. And as we go to it each day, God can show us things. And if we believe in his truth and we're open to it and we're willing to listen, he can show us so much about himself. When I'm teaching people, when I mentor people, one of the things I do is get them to spend most of the time looking at God. Very little time looking at themselves. Now, some people will say, well, they should always look to God. Yet they're the people that are always looking to themselves when they talk about how sinful they are. God's aim is not for us to look at ourselves. Remember the Hebrews in the desert in Numbers 21? And they looked up at the serpent and they were healed. Jesus says his cross is much like that. If you look up at him, you're healed. If you look at him, you're saved. If you look up at him, you're given what is his, because he died for you for that. You're given his righteousness. You're given his love. You're given his faith. You're given his truth. All of that is scriptural. And I will say this. Find out if you're accepting the truth. There's a lot of cranks online. There's New Age cranks. There's cranks that will tell you what angels have told them and what is the right way to say this or the right way to say that. There are cranks from other denominations that aren't even Christian that will tell you opposite. There's cranks that come out of illiterate people that have no idea of the gospel and a history of no idea of the gospel. There's cranks that say they've seen things on tablets. There's cranks that say they've had visions, but they don't support scripture. There are many cranks out there. Check them out against the word. Check them out in the spirit. And if your gut reacts, then find out why. Don't follow the cranks. I almost said don't follow the crankies. There's cranks from other religions. But the truth is Jesus Christ and him crucified, and him alive and active today. And it doesn't matter what your religion is, Christ is the only way. Anyway, that's my thoughts for today. I've even given you a scripture. I'll tell you what, I'll give you two more, or rather I'll give you these scriptures. Numbers 21 and John 3, 14 to 17. Jesus is the only way. He's the one we look at. He's the one we look to. He's the author and finisher of our faith. That's Hebrews. So I want you to do something for me, please. This is important if you want this page to keep going, or this YouTube channel to keep going. Like what I have to say, subscribe, and let your friends know about it. And if you're interested in being part of a church, Grace Church Fellowship, then get in touch. Maybe you can join us on a Sunday or a Monday if you work. It's online. However, there's a way we can format it that we form house churches that can all listen together and then pray together and be together for each other. So that's it on that little thing. Be safe and look to God. And if you're not in Him already, take that step. I'm here if you want to contact me. Okay, I've got to get on. Off to it for an early night. Probably a long night's sleep tonight. I slept very little last night. And then midweek I've got a big meeting going on, so keep me in your prayers. Okay now, God bless you. See you on the flip side.